week, you always do a little bit of self-scout for sure. You try to figure out, what are my tendencies and some of that stuff. But more than anything for us, it's, right now we're just trying to figure out how can we get over the hump of the negative plays that we're having for what we're doing. And so that's kind of what we're doing, between the office times, and then we're on the field, we're doing some light practices, and then, really getting those young guys going. And not necessarily even the young guys. We have some older guys too that are still helping us play, but they're only playing a handful of snaps on Saturdays, and so still trying to push development for those guys, because again, it's a long year. We still got 9 more games, and we got to have everybody on the roster ready to play at any moment. So we're continuing to try to develop our young guys and our guys that just haven't been playing a lot of snaps.
Somebody said to me in the last week, wow, this is an early bye week, but it's really not when you take in fall camp. Is this kind of a good time for you guys to get a little break, work on some of those things you talked about, and maybe some of the big solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. You talk 4 weeks of fall camp, and then three games, and I think it goes unseen sometimes too. Just the late trips and the late nights you get home. We've had a couple nights where I can speak to me personally, not going to sleep till 2:30, 3 a.m. 2 of these games, and so. I think a lot of that accumulates up, and we're a little banged up at a few positions, and nothing serious, but just some guys need some rest, get their bodies back, and so I think it came at a great time. If when the calendar falls the right way, where you get 2 bye weeks, I think we'd all love to play 4 games, have a bye, play 4 games, have a bye. We're pretty close to that, being able to play 3, 5, and then finish it out. So it's coming at a really good time for us. Yeah, Xavier's doing a really good job for us. He's very multiple for us there in the backfield, able to do a lot of stuff, scat back kind of type guy. But you saw him have multiple catches out of the backfield, the big wheel route, for a touchdown as well. And he's a guy that he's a one cut kind of guy and can make you miss and can create those explosive plays. So he's doing a really good job for us there in the backfield. And then Duda's another guy, high energy, brings a lot of juice. Can fly around, has really good length that you're looking for, and again, super proud of him with just max effort for him on that punt, going and getting that block for us for a touchdown.
It feels like no dynasty or good teams happens without adversity. How do you feel like this first real punch in the mouth they responded to in the locker room?
Yeah, great. I think to me there's always a good sign after you take a loss and you walk into the locker room and it's pitch quiet, nobody's saying anything, you can't hear anything, and then you have certain leaders walk in the locker room just reassuring guys hey, if you're talking and you're not pissed off right now, you're in the wrong spot. And so we had that. Clearly it was a devastating loss for us. We didn't want to lose that game, and especially the way we lost it. But at the end of the day, that's one game, and we got 9 ahead of us. And so, you build character, you build, strength within your locker room with adversity. Again, there's a lot of really good teams out there right now that lost the game or that have lost 2 games, and we're one of them. And again, you gotta understand that college football is a game of highs and lows, because it's pretty rare, in my opinion, in today's college football world, to go undefeated. No matter who you are. And then at the end of the day too, I always look at college football, and you do have 2 different seasons, and every game matters. But the American starts for us next Saturday, and that's what we're looking forward to as well. You're going into that game with a clean slate, you're 0-0, and so you still have opportunities to go do what you want to do this year and be able to hoist the trophy at the end of the year.
Obviously, a bit of a delay there to start. Is that something you guys kind of practice for, prepare for in small camp and even the weeks before it?
Yeah, I don't think you can. I wouldn't say we practiced for it, but it just naturally happened for us here. We're down here in South Florida. We see the weather we got right now, and we actually had one practice in fall camp to where we were delayed about an hour and a half. And so, we kind of had to sit our guys around the weight room and wait for those lightning strikes to pass. And, we ended up kind of cutting down that practice a little bit and rolling the football and playing football. So our guys were ready. I thought our guys were juiced up. The delay had absolutely zero part in our loss. I'm not going to blame that. Again, our guys were ready to play. We came in. I thought we started pretty fast, and then the biggest thing is we got to get going in the second half because that's where we're struggling to come out of halftime right now.
The turnovers probably hurt the offense a bit. And down the field against FIU, 10 yards plus, I think it was under 40%. What do you kind of feel like FIU was doing in that game? And overall, is there anything you guys are doing to try to clamp down those turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on with the turnovers. We're second to last in the country in turnover margin, and that's a really, really bad stat. If you're second to last in turnover margin, you're probably not going to have a winning season. And I've been telling our team, I told our team this on Sunday, that what people have to realize is the turnover margin is a team stat. It's not a quarterback stat. Everybody wants to always look at the quarterback, and clearly I'm not naive. I don't believe in the coach speak stuff. The quarterback's got to play better. He can't turn the ball over 7 times in the first 3 games. But at the end of the day, what we look at as coaches is, what was the depth of the route the receiver ran? Did the receiver run the route the right way? Did my right tackle get beat on this play to flush me out of the pocket? There's a lot that goes into it. And again, turnover margin is a team stat. Defense has to create more turnovers as well, and special teams can help us create turnovers. So that's the number one focal point moving forward for us in general, is we've got to clean up that turnover margin. And clearly on offense, we can't turn it over, but defense and special teams got to help us get the ball back as well. So that's that. To be honest with you, as far as what were they doing to us, we got to execute our job better. And I know I probably sound like, man, coach just says this every week, but if you guys could sit in with me on my quarterback meeting and see what I see and hear the response coming from those guys, they'd sit here and tell you the exact same thing. At the end of the day, we're guessing at times what the defense is going to do instead of just trusting what we're supposed to do. And we got to learn from that. And I do believe that if we can clean that part of our game up, we're going to look like a whole different team. Because again, me and Katrina were talking, you look at statistically and all that stuff, and it looks great, our stats are pretty good and all that, but at the end of the day, you're looking at a W, you're looking at an L at the end of the day, and so we're able to move the football, we're getting a lot of first downs, I think we're scoring 31 points per game, something like that, which is not where we want to be, but we're improving. But bottom line, we've got to clean it up on our end. It starts with us and not worrying about what the opponent's doing. The defense dictates where the ball goes. If they're covered, don't throw it there. If they're open, throw it there. If they cover them all down, get in the scramble drill or whatever. But ultimately, we had some guys running open on Saturday, and we got to connect with the receivers.
On the defensive side of the ball, if the pressure hasn't been there as much as you guys probably wanted, are you guys trying to scheme that a bit, or maybe personnel-wise switch things up? How are you approaching that?
Yeah, we kind of felt that could be an issue kind of coming into the year. We're going to have to generate some pressure based off of blitzes and some stuff like that. The issue you run into is, depending on who you play, you got a running quarterback, right? And so how do you stop the running quarterback? Well, if you play man coverage, now there's no one guarding the quarterback, and when you play man coverage, that's when you blitz a lot more. We knew they were going to be a team that wanted to come in and pound the rock. We knew they weren't going to try to throw it 40 times. But ultimately, we've got to do some more stuff, but at the same time, we've got to be smart on who you're playing, because you blitz and you're a man, and some of those things, that's where your really elusive quarterback can go take off on you for 25 yards when guys get in out of their rush lanes and stuff like that. So there's a fine line between both. We've got to generate more pressure. I could be wrong on the stats. Thing. We've got two sacks in 3 games. Not good, and there's no other way to put it. But again, it depends on who you play to a certain extent of what kind of scheme can you play to where it doesn't just, really bite you in the tail in the back end.
I've been negative so far, sorry, but what would you say the biggest positive has been so far for you?
Yeah, our guys are still fired up to play football. Again, I'm not naive. We got Memphis coming in 2 weeks, and they're gonna be the best team we've played all year. They're number 1 in stop rate in the country on defense right now. They're gonna go give Arkansas all they want this weekend. They're a really good football team, but our guys are up for the challenge, and we haven't given up yet. Coaches can really tell really fast when the team is checked out or whatever the case may be. And again, you come into a locker room after a devastating loss that we all felt like, we could win that football game, and the vibe in the locker room is what you want it to be. It's somber, it's quiet, it's not, guys not caring. And to me, that's the biggest thing. We've got to get some guys back healthy and all that, but when you talk to the players, I've had multiple one-on-one meetings with guys, and guys that came in to talk to me like, Coach, man, I'm not playing good enough. What do I have to do to be better? Because they see the same thing. They're like, I tell myself all the time, keep it real on Sundays, and I'm the first one. I've got to look at myself in the mirror and say, why did I call this play? Why did I do this? What happened here? But I also challenge my players to do the same thing. And you have to have a growth mindset and a mature mindset to be able to look at yourself on the tape and say, hey, I was doing this wrong. Coach was right here. I got to do what I'm coached to do, yada, yada. And I think that's where we're still in a positive mindset because we're mature enough and maturing enough as week by week goes to look at those things and attack those situations.
Leon, I mentioned briefly, was not playing against FIU. Was that something that lingered from him going down against FAU?
He's a little banged up, but ultimately for him, he just had actually kind of like an illness pop up actually the day before the game. But unless something crazy happens again, I fully expect to see him here against Memphis in 2 weeks.
Kamari was able to hop in that linebacker
Yeah.
and work the NFL game with the team with pressure. I feel that to me, that's a good story. He's coming up from JUCO, making an impact right away. What do you like from him?
Yeah, he's a heck of a football player. I think that those two words just completely describe him. Football player. He loves football. He flies around. He's not some 6'3", 245-pound linebacker, but man, he plays extremely hard and he's fast. He's physical. He had some big hits in the game, and we're asking a guy that just got here in June to come in and step up, make some big plays for us, and he's been nothing short of that. So, he's still a young guy that's got a lot of football left ahead of him. And man, I think the future is extremely bright for KJ here as the years go on.